So, Namaskar, good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Mutindra Mahapatra, DG IMD. I extend a warm welcome to all our colleagues from press and electronic media and your friends from India Meteorological Department and other organizations. So today we will be presenting you the forecast for month of April and also the outlook for April to June in terms of temperature. So I will just share the PPT. Please hold on for 1 minute. Srijit, I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Fine. Whether screen is visible?
Yes, yes. Please make it full screen mode.
I will make it full screen. Okay.
Okay.
Is it moving?
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So fine. So we'll have an updated seasonal temperature outlook for hot weather season April to June, and also rainfall and temperature outlook for April 2023. So before we go for that, let us look at behind what happened during the month of March. This right-hand side figure shows the spatial distribution of rainfall meteorological subdivision wise in the month of March. So what you find that most of the meteorological subdivisions are deep blue or light blue. That means there has been excess rainfall in the month of March in most parts of the country. Of course, in southern peninsula, if you just look at, there is a normal to deficient rainfall, especially over, say, Marathwada, Karnataka, and Kerala, and deficient rainfall over the islands. And here in the north, we have a deficient rainfall over Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Arunachal Pradesh. So if you just look at the country as a whole, there was good rainfall activity. It is 26% above the long period average. The long period average is based on the data of 1971 to 2020. And as for long period average, the normal rainfall for the country as a whole is 29.9, or you can say roughly 3 centimeter. And this year we have got 3.76 centimeter. So quantity wise, it does not look much, but we look at the distribution, the occurrence of rainfall, it shows compared to rainfall normal, it has been excess in most parts of the country. Now, if I just compare different homogeneous regions, what you find that northwest India, because of this less rain over Jammu and Kashmir, etc., you got less rain. But over the central India, it is 206% above the long period average. Usually we get 7.8 millimeter, and this was about 23.9 millimeter during March 2023. Now, let us have a comparison with the various years. What happened during March 2023, whether it was a record-breaking rainfall? There has been many questions from the media brothers and sisters that whether it is a record or not. So we found out the data from 1901 to 2023, and we have ranked the various rainfall amount for all India in March 2023 in the left-hand side columns. So what you find that the highest rainfall in the month of March occurred in 1967. It was 62.6 millimeter. And in 2015, in recent years, it was 61.7 millimeter. Now, if you look at these years, it ranks in 27. So therefore, in no way it is a record-breaking rainfall for the country as a whole. The nearest value, which occurred in recent times, was 2014, 37.9, and 2015 it was 61.7. I will say that. So in recent times, let's look at 2015 has been the highest amount of rainfall. Now, if you just look at the central India, which has got 206% above rainfall, so that also you see the rainfall stands at 11. Rank is 11 for 2023. The highest rainfall for central India has been in 1944 with 48.9%. Similarly, if I consider South India, South Peninsula, so here the rank is 7 in 2023. It was 32.1 millimeter. And 2008 was the highest rainfall, that is 122.2 millimeters. Now you can have a look about the time series, how the rainfall changed over central India. On the top figure, central India in the month of March. You can find that, yes, as I was telling, 2015 was the highest amount of rainfall in the current year, in this particular recent periods. If you consider South Peninsula, it was, as I told, in 2008, it was maximum, and this year it is above normal, but not as compared to 2008. All India, similarly, if I just consider, then it has been highest, as I told you, in 2015 again, and it is after 2015, it is the third highest for 2023. Now let us look at what happened to the various types of severe weather events. Usually, the month of March, April, May is called as pre-monsoon season, and this season is marked by thunderstorms, hailstorms, squalls, lightning, etc. And maximum death occurs because of this. And sometimes in this period, there could be development of the cyclones. So what happened in the month of March? There was no cyclone disturbances as such, but there has been very intense thunderstorm activity in the month of March. This is just a figure on left-hand side. For example, there is color coding. Red color indicates that 16 to 20 days of occurrence of thunderstorm out of 31 days. But I want to mention here, if any one station in the particular state or subdivision has reported thunderstorm, it is considered as thunderstorm day. So that is the limitation. That assumption has been used to find out how many days, for example, East Rajasthan experienced the thunderstorm days. So it is 16 to 20 days. So from this diagram, the red color is the maximum. You can find that the Western Himalayan region, like Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, East Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, West Bengal and Sikkim, and Assam and Meghalaya had the maximum number of thunderstorm days. If you look at the climatology of thunderstorms, usually the eastern and northeastern India gets maximum, and also the Western Himalayan region gets maximum number of days. So we can say that East Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh was relatively very high. And of course, next comes the orange color, that's 11 to 15 days. So in general, if you just look at, there is quite a good number of thunderstorm days relative to the normal number of days. Now, let us go to hailstorm. As all of us know that during the period 14 to 21, especially, there was almost large-scale hailstorm activity across the country, most of the regions. And this shows, again, red color is the maximum number of days of hailstorm in the month of March. At least similar here, at least if one station or one location reported hailstorm in a particular state or metro subdivision, it is considered as 1 day. So by that way, also Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, East Rajasthan, Madhya Maharashtra, Odisha reported maximum number of hailstorms, and then comes the orange color, that is 4 to 6 days. Now, if we just look at the heavy rainfall occurred mainly over northern states and eastern states. So the third diagram on the right hand side, this is the heavy rainfall frequency. 5 to 8 days of heavy rainfall occurred in red color zone, that is Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, and Odisha. Next comes Assam and Meghalaya, where also it occurred for 3 to 4 days, the heavy rainfall events. So there was the mixed impact because of the heavy rainfall and the thunderstorms and the hailstorms. In addition to this, there was also squally wind and gusty wind, but it was not so much gusty. It ranged from 40 to 60 kmph during this period. It was not so high anywhere. Maximum wind speed was around 60 kmph in association with the thunderstorm. It is mainly because of the fact that this year the thunderstorm has been a moist thunderstorm, I will say. That means moisture was quite high because of the anticyclone over Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal being active. There is a lot of moisture supply, and therefore we could get good rainfall activity. I will show you afterwards how was the heavy rainfall as compared to the previous years. Now let us look at the heavy rainfall. On left-hand side diagram shows the location of heavy rainfall events in March 2023. As in the previous diagram I have shown you, all these northern states and eastern states have reported heavy rainfall. and the blue color indicates the very heavy rainfall event. So very heavy rainfall event has been reported in Odisha and adjoining areas of South Chhattisgarh and North Andhra Pradesh. So if I compare the number of events, at least number of stations reporting heavy rainfall since 2018 to 2023, so what I find that in 2018 it was 36 events, and 2019 it was 6, 2020 44 events, 2021 to 13 events, 2022 13. But in 2023 it was 100 events of heavy rainfall. So that you can just imagine. So this month experienced highly convective activity, and moisture content was so high that it could lead to the heavy rainfall events. So therefore, if you consider total, that is 100 plus 5 very heavy rainfall, total becomes 105 in recent time. Of course, I don't have the ready-made data. We have to find out in which year in the past it occurred so. But so this is the characteristics. This is the most important characteristics of this year. The frequency of heavy rainfall events was quite high on different meteorological subdivisions. Another point I just want to mention here, don't take it in absolute term, because number of rain gauge stations over the years has increased. So for example, we have in 2023 about 5,500 rain gauge stations in the country for monitoring of rainfall event, which was not the case in 2018. So that we have to keep in mind, that there is certain limitation in the sense that number of stations are not fixed from 2018 and 2023, and number has increased every year by 100 or 150 or 200 like that. So therefore, by 2018, perhaps numbers will be 4,500, which is now around 5,500. Now let us look at what happened to the disaster, how disastrous it was in terms of the death. See, the symbols which are shown here is lightning or thunderstorms and gusty winds, hailstorms, and heavy rainfall. So you can find out that how, because of the rainfall, because of heavy rainfall especially, how the 7 persons reportedly claimed dead and 29 persons injured and 63 livestock perished during month of March because of the heavy rainfall. Similarly, because of the hailstorms, the total 1 person reportedly claimed dead during 19th March and 20th March in Chhattisgarh because of the hailstorm. In lightning, total 60 persons reportedly claimed dead, 15 persons injured, and more than 490 livestock perished during March 2023 because of the lightning. Again, here I just want to mention here, this data is not completely official data. This data has been collected from various publications, newspapers. We maintain it. The official statement will be available from the concerned state, actually. So therefore, that you should keep in mind. Now, if we just look at the weather systems, what happened actually? Why it was so much large-scale activity in terms of heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, hailstorms, lightning? It is mainly because there were 7 western disturbances in the month of March. So it is slightly on the higher side, and it occurred consecutively, 1 to 3 March, then 5 to 11 March, 13 to 16 March, 15 to 20, 19 to 22, 22 to 28, and finally 28 to 31 March. So one after another, there is even superimposition or overlapping of the passage of western disturbances of North India and associated induced circulations. So that was the basic reason, but it was followed by the trough. Trough means it's a region of low pressure, or you can say a region of convergence of the winds. It was east-west oriented, and most of the days it ranged from Rajasthan to eastern India, especially during 17 to 21 and 28 to 31, when activity was quite high. And also in north-south, also, which is the climatological phenomena over the South India, there will be wind discontinuity. That means easterly coming from the Bay of Bengal, westerly coming from Arabian Sea. So there is a discontinuity. They merge with each other, and hence there is a convergence and leads to thunderstorm activity. So that was very prominent this year over the South Peninsula, and to extending up to East Central India like Jharkhand, Odisha, or Chhattisgarh. Especially, I will draw your attention for the period 14 to 22 March. It was the most severe phase of the severe weather occurring in the country. There were 5 active western disturbances moving across north and central India during that period, and there was westerly jet stream. The jet stream is a weather event where wind speed is at least 60 knots, that means 120 kmph, and it could go up to 200 kmph wind speed at a height of about 12 kilometers. When such a high wind speed occurs in Indian region, and it leads to lower level convergence and hence the formation of the clouds. Not only that, during this period, this jet stream came so much south, even to the Tamil Nadu latitude. So therefore, entire India was prone for thunderstorm activity. The third one is that in the vertically also, the jet stream came down. Therefore, there was cold wind and the freezing level was low. This lowering of freezing level in atmosphere helped in the formation of the hailstorms. So in addition to all these, there are two anticyclone circulation, one over the head of Bengal and over the Central Arabian Sea, and they were feeding moisture to the country. So these are the five phenomena which resulted into intense activity during month of March. Now let us compare what happened to temperature during March. So if you just look at, I will just draw your attention to the lower row, that is maximum temperature anomaly. Anomaly means it is the deviation from the normal conditions or deviation from the long period average value of the maximum temperature. So what you find here, this green color indicates below the long period average, and this pink and orange color indicates is above. So what happened actually, what you find that most parts of the country it was below normal temperature, but northeastern states and northwest India, the temperature was above normal, especially the hill areas and in Punjab and northern parts of Haryana. Now, if you consider the minimum temperature, as it was cloudy and many days it rained also, so therefore minimum temperature was higher over northern and central India, and it was below normal over the peninsular India. It is middle diagram. And mean temperature, the average of maximum and minimum temperatures, that also indicates that northern part had the higher temperature as compared to the southern part of the country. Now let us compare last year and this year, what happened actually. So if you all remember, March was one of the highest warming month in 2022. So maximum temperature, if you consider, it was all India, it was rank 1 in 2022. But this year, maximum temperature, if you compare, it rank was 39. That means compared to last year, it was just opposite. It was cooling, and last year it was warming. Similarly, minimum temperature also, it was ranked 3 last year, but it was 14 ranked this year. And so we have considered Northwest India, it was the warmest year in 2022, but it is the 33rd warmest year. That means the rank is quite low, it was not warm. Similarly, the East and Northeast India, the rank was 3 last year, it was the highest warming, but now the rank is 72 in 2023. Central India rank was 2 in 2022 and 63 in 2023. And South Peninsula, maximum temperature ranked 9 last year, and this year is 24. So totally what we want to say is that compared to last year, this year was completely opposite. It was cooling March, whereas last year it was warming March. Now let us see what happened to the forecast. So we gave the forecast on 28 February, and as for the forecast, we told that southern part of the country and adjoining eastern part will have normal to above normal rainfall activity. You can see this green line and blue line. These indicated the normal to above normal peninsular India and East Central India. But what happened actually, peninsular India and East Central India had the normal to above normal rainfall activity, but Northwest India, say, except this Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, which also we predicted above below normal rainfall, other plains of Northwest India and West Central India like Gujarat, etc., had higher rainfall. It was not expected. So that means the forecast was underestimated over Northwest India, and it was reasonably correct over South India and eastern parts of the country. It could predict a lower rainfall over northeastern states and hills of Northwest India very well. Now let us look at what happened to the maximum temperature. Right hand side is the maximum temperature forecast issued on 28 February. You will find that yes, we predicted that there will be normal to below normal temperature over South India and also Northwest India. But Central India, we expected that it will be above normal temperature, and northeastern states also. Northeastern states occurred above normal. Northeast India to some extent also it occurred above normal. South Peninsula it was below normal. It is fine. East West Coast we expected above normal. It is also occurred above normal temperatures. But only that West Central India and some parts of Northwest India, it was expected that temperature will be higher, but temperature became normal or below normal. So what I want to say is that more or less, if you just look at about 70 to 80%, it could capture, be it rainfall or be it the temperature. The remaining 30 to 20%, it could not. Now, this is the minimum temperature. Minimum temperature, such like the forecast was South India was below normal and Jharkhand below normal also. But if you consider central India and northwest India, we could predict very well some parts that will be above normal. It has occurred above normal, but in some other regions it could not be predicted that it will be. So mainly it is because of the intense thunderstorm activity, which could not be captured by the model. Now let us look at the El Nino and southern oscillation conditions. As we predicted earlier that El Nino condition, as we predicted earlier that La Nina conditions are weakening, and it has weakened. If you look at the March as a whole, the La Nina condition has weakened. Now it is a neutral condition. Nino 3.4, which is the area responsible for relationship with the monsoon rainfall and other parameters over Indian region, the Nino 3.4 average temperature is 0.0 degrees Celsius. You can see in right hand side wherein I have got the cursor. 0.0 degrees. That means it is neutral, complete neutral. Nino 3.4 is neutral now, as predicted. Now, if you just look at to certain depth of the ocean, also you'll find that yes, the warming is increasing over the different regions. Nino 3.4 just started warming in the recent time, while it was cooling so long so far. So what I want to say is that it is transitioning. The El Nino southern oscillation conditions transitioned from La Nina condition to neutral conditions. And what will happen for the future? Let us see the slide. Now, if you see the latest ENSO forecast and Indian Ocean Dipole forecast, so you find that this is the NOAA CPC, and this is the many models predictions. So the forecast goes like this. So the transition to El Nino is favored by July to September 2023, with chances of El Nino increasing towards the fall season. Fall season means October to December. Now, if you consider the various models also, they are also indicating that there is a potential return to El Nino conditions, as I told, towards July to September. Now, the Indian Ocean Dipole, which is considered as another important factor for Indian monsoon, it is at present, if you just find out, it is neutral conditions, but many models are indicating development of positive Indian Ocean Dipole in coming months. As you can see here, the emotional models are indicating that there will be positive Indian Ocean Dipole. It is called a positive Indian Ocean Dipole when the temperature in Valley is more than 0.4 degrees Celsius. Just like in ENSO, it is 0.5 degrees Celsius, it is 0.4 degrees Celsius. So minus 0.4 to plus 0.4 is considered as neutral. And minus 0.4 or less, it is considered as negative IOD, and plus 0.4 and more is considered as positive IOD. So most of the models are suggesting that there will be positive IOD conditions, and positive IOD condition is good for Indian monsoon. So, so this is the large-scale database interpretation, but there could be variation from year to year. Now, this is our own model, and this is also indicating that similar situation towards July, August, September. This red, you can see this red bar. It indicates that there will be development of El Nino conditions July, August, September. Prior to that, it will be passing through the neutral conditions. Now, let us see the forecast, the probabilistic forecast for maximum temperature during April to June season 2023. So, what you find on the left-hand side, you see the spatial distribution of probability. The yellow, orange, red colors indicate above normal probability of occurrence, and green indicates normal, and below normal indicates that is indicated by blue. So what you find that, as per the forecast, that you find that South Peninsula and in West Central India, where you can have normal or below normal temperature, maximum temperature, but Northern India, Central India, Eastern India, Northeastern states are expected to have the above normal temperature scenario. So as I say always, this forecast is given in three torsile categories. One is the below normal torsile category, the normal torsile category, and other one is the above normal torsile category. Assuming that means 1/3 of the entire value is considered as above normal, 1/3 of the entire value is considered as below normal, and middle 1/3 is considered as the above normal. So that we should keep in mind. So another point I want to say that if I compare this figure, the Eastern India, especially the Odisha, Ganges, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, East UP, and southern parts of Bihar, this area has the higher probability of above normal temperature. And similarly to some case here. So that means the prediction goes that yes, there is probability of above normal temperature, but high probability is seen over the eastern parts of the country. Now let us look at the minimum temperature April to June season. So if you just look at minimum temperature, it is a mixed trend. You will find that there is a blue color and green color. All these colors are extending west central, central, and peninsular India, and also some parts in northwest, etc. But eastern part of the country, as I was telling, eastern part of the country shows that there could be the higher temperature. The white region indicates that there is no such prediction in that area. And that means the probability is equally same for above normal, normal, and below normal. The model has no sign of indicating whether it will be above normal or below normal. Now let us look at forecast maximum temperature for month of April. Now, if I look at for the month of April, here also you will find some kind of mixed trend. You have got the white symbols where you do not have any trend forecast. Green and blue indicates that it will be normal or below normal maximum temperatures, and the yellow indicates that it will be above normal. But if you just look at it, just yellow, there is no such red color here. That means probability of above normal temperature is low. It is not very high. But if I compare different parts, again, the eastern parts of the country like Odisha and West Bengal, there you can find out a higher probability of occurrence of above normal temperature. Now let us look at the minimum temperature for month of April. If you look at minimum temperature, again, many parts you have the normal to below normal minimum temperature, and there are certain areas like say West Rajasthan, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, and some parts in Northwest India where you have got higher probability of occurrence of above normal minimum temperature. Similarly is the case with respect to East Central India and then Eastern India, where also you can have some probability. So what I want to say that there is no such projected trend for the minimum temperature. It is a mixed trend in different parts of the country. Now let us look at the heat wave outlook for April to June and April. On the left-hand side is the heat wave outlook for the entire season, that is April to June, and right-hand side is the heat wave forecast for April. So in this heat wave forecast, let me clarify. We have generated this heat wave forecast for the first time. That is the duration of heat wave days. We know what is the normal duration of heat wave in the country in the month of April and June or in the month of April. Against that normal days, normal number of days, we have compared the number of days predicted by the model. So here, when you see the color is blue, that means the number of days of heat wave during April to June is expected to be below normal over the peninsular India. And it is to be higher than the normal number of days over central and northwest India. But again, if I look at the color, what I find that eastern parts of the country, starting with East UP, Jharkhand, Odisha, against West Bengal, this area you can find a deep red color that is corresponding to 8 to 10 days. That means in this area, you can have significantly higher number of heat wave days as compared to remaining parts of the country where it is just 2 to 4 days above normal. Now, if I consider for the month of April, similar the situation, only over Gujarat and adjoining Maharashtra, you have got probability that you have got the number of days higher than normal. Similarly here, East UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, here you can have number of days higher than normal. And more importantly, the eastern part indicates Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Odisha, that number of days will be relatively higher as compared to remaining parts. And remaining major part of the country, it will be normal condition of heat wave. It is not alarming heat wave in the month of April. The normal condition. That means usually in the month of April, we do not get heat wave conditions much in Northwest India. Usually you get in Central India. And that Central India part, it is showing here to be higher number of deviations in the positive. So what I want to say that we have to be cautious and we should be following for the month of April, Eastern India and West Central India, where we are expecting the occurrence of heat wave conditions. As the forecast goes, you will see afterwards also. For next 1 week, there is low probability of occurrence of heat wave. Only in the second half of April, there is probability for occurrence of heat waves. Now let us look at the probability forecast for 2023 April rainfall. Now, if I look at the diagram on the left hand side, what you find actually, there is good rainfall activity in northwest India and central India. But eastern India or some parts of east central India, starting with North Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, and Ganjti West Bengal, what you find that rainfall will be deficient. So that means these two diagrams, the previous diagram, if I just look at and the heat wave conditions in the month of April, and if I look at the rainfall conditions in the month of April, they are synonymous. They are in agreement with each other. There will be less rainfall, that means less thunderstorm activity, and there could be the heat wave conditions, and there could be the less rainfall over East Central India, as I told, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Similarly, in the Gujarat state also, you can see, in northern parts of Maharashtra. So these are two areas where they're in agreement. Other parts, you have got higher rainfall, and hence you do not have the much heat wave conditions in the month of April. Now let us look at, मैं अभी आपको थोड़ा हिंदी में बता दूं कि 2023 के गर्मी के मौसम को देखते हुए देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में अधिकतम तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने की उम्मीद है, केवल दक्षिण प्रायद्वीपीय भारत और उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के कुछ हिस्सों को छोड़कर, जहां सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य से नीचे अधिकतम तापमान रहने की संभावना है अप्रैल से जून के बीच। अभी हम न्यूनतम तापमान यानी मिनिमम टेम्परेचर की बात करें तो आगामी गर्म मौसम ऋतु के दौरान देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य से अधिक न्यूनतम तापमान की अत्यधिक संभावना है। केवल पूर्वोत्तर और उत्तर भारत के कुछ क्षेत्रों को साथ साथ प्रायद्वीपीय भारत में भी कुछ इक्का दुक्का इलाकों में छोड़कर, जहां सामान्य से नीचे न्यूनतम तापमान संभावना है। अप्रैल 2023 का तापमान, अधिकतम तापमान यानी मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर का पूर्वानुमान करें तो देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से अधिक से लेकर सामान्य से अधिकतम तापमान रहने की संभावना है, सिवाय प्रायद्वीपीय, पूर्वोत्तर और उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के कुछ क्षेत्रों को छोड़कर, जहां सामान्य से नीचे अधिकतम तापमान रहने की संभावना है। और हीट वेव की हम उष्ण लहर की बात करें तो अप्रैल से जून की उष्ण लहर आप देखें तो इसमें दिखाई देता है कि गर्म मौसम के दौरान मध्य भारत, पूर्वी भारत और उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से अधिक उष्ण लहर हो सकता है, पर स्पेशली पूर्व केंद्रीय भारत और पूर्व भारत और गुजरात स्टेट, इस एरिया में हमारा संभावना है। और अप्रैल 15 के बाद, अप्रैल 15 के बीच में, अप्रैल 15 तक होने का चांस कम है। राइट हैंड साइड डायग्राम देखें तो ये अप्रैल महीने में क्या होने वाले दर्शाता है। जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि अप्रैल महीना में सेकेंड हाफ में हीट वेव कंडीशंस कुछ डेवलप हो सकता है और वो लिमिटेड हीट वेव कंडीशंस होगा, और स्पेशली और ईस्टर्न इंडिया, झारखंड, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल, उड़ीसा और यहाँ गुजरात के तटीय इलाका और एडजॉइनिंग एरिया ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, ये इलाका में हीट वेव होने का संभावना है। रेनफॉल की बात करें कि भारत के अधिकांश न्यूनतम तापमान की बात करें तो भारत के अधिकांश हिस्सों में अप्रैल 2023 के दौरान सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य से नीचे मासिक न्यूनतम तापमान का अनुभव होने की संभावना है, केवल उत्तर पश्चिम, मध्य और पूर्व भारत को छोड़कर, जहां सामान्य से अधिक न्यूनतम तापमान की उम्मीद किया जा रहा है। और वर्षा का संभावना देखें तो अप्रैल 2023 के दौरान पूरे देश में औसत वर्षा सामान्य रहने की संभावना है। 1971 से 2020 को आंकड़ा के आधार पर अब देखें तो सारा भारतवर्ष में जो बारिश होता है एवरेज वो होता है 39.2 मिलीमीटर, और जो अप्रैल महीने में जो बारिश होने वाला है वो 39.2 मिलीमीटर की 88% से शुरू करके 112% के बीच में होने का संभावना है, जिसको हम नॉर्मल रेनफॉल बोलते हैं अप्रैल महीना के लिए। और पूर्वानुमान से पता ये चलता है कि नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया यानी उत्तर पश्चिम भारत, मध्य और प्रायद्वीपीय भारत के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य से अधिक बारिश होने का उम्मीद है, जबकि पूर्व और पूर्वोत्तर भारत में और भारत के पश्चिम तट पर कुछ क्षेत्रों में सामान्य से नीचे बारिश होने का संभावना है। और हम बारिश का जो पूर्वानुमान है इसको हम तुलना करें जो हीट वेव के साथ, तो आप देखेंगे कि ये लगभग एग्रीबल है, सहमति है कि जो एरिया में रेनफॉल कम हो रहा है वो एरिया में उष्ण लहर होने का संभावना ज्यादा है अप्रैल महीने में, और जो एरिया में बारिश ज्यादा हो रहा है वहाँ उष्ण लहर होने का संभावना नहीं है। सो अभी नेक्स्ट ये जो सीजनल फोरकास्ट को फॉलो अप करते हुए हम जो एक्सटेंडेड रेंज फोरकास्ट देते हैं नेक्स्ट 4 वीक्स का, आप देखेंगे कि पहला हफ्ता जो है ना, पहला हफ्ता में नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया और नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में अच्छा बारिश होने वाला है और साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुला में भी अच्छा बारिश होने वाला है। इसके बाद मैंने 7 तारीख से तो जो एक्टिविटी है कम हो जाएगा नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में और नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में भी, बट पेनिनसुलर इंडिया में जैसे क्लाइमेटोलॉजिकली होता है वहां थंडरस्टॉर्म जारी रहेगा और रेनफॉल कहाँ ज्यादा से नॉर्मल से ज्यादा हो सकता है। सो ये जो सीजन है, ये सीजन पे नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया सबसे ज्यादा बारिश अनुभव होता है वहाँ, और ज्यादा थंडरस्टॉर्म भी होता है, और ये जो पूर्वानुमान है वो भी यही दिखाता है। मगर बीच में जो सेकेंड वीक है 7 अप्रैल टू 13 अप्रैल को नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में एक्टिविटी कम होगा, तो इसके बाद थर्ड वीक में भी एक्टिविटी कम रहेगा और फोर्थ वीक में फिर एक्टिविटी बढ़ेगा। पर फर्स्ट वीक दोनों नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया और साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुला और नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया, ये सभी एरिया के लिए एक्टिविटी रहेगा। अभी अकॉर्डिंगली आप टेम्परेचर एनोमली देखें तो नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स के लिए लगभग सभी जगह में मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर बिलो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है, एक्सेप्ट वेस्ट कोस्ट एंड ईस्ट कोस्ट जहां टेम्परेचर एवो नॉर्मल हो सकता है सेकेंड वीक यानी 7 अप्रैल से शुरू करके, और नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया का जो हिली एरिया है और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स वहां भी तब टेम्परेचर बढ़ सकता है। मगर जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ अप्रैल में चांस है कि टेम्परेचर ज्यादा होगा और हीट वेव कंडीशन डेवलप हो सकता है। अकॉर्डिंग हमारा जो एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट है वीक 3 का आप देखें, ये दिखाई दे रहा है कि ईस्टर्न इंडिया में टेम्परेचर नॉर्मल से ज्यादा रहेगा, यानी पॉसिबिलिटी है उस टाइम थंडरस्टॉर्म, इस टाइम कुछ हीट वेव कंडीशंस डेवलप हो सकता है। सिमिलर कंडीशन आप देख सकते हैं फोर्थ वीक में। सो यानी सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ अप्रैल में टेम्परेचर ईस्टर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ कंट्री और जैसे छत्तीसगढ़, नॉर्दर्न पार्ट्स आंध्र प्रदेश, उड़ीसा, बिहार, झारखंड, वेस्ट बंगाल, इसमें ज्यादा रहेगा एवरेज से, और वेस्टर्न पार्ट में भी गुजरात एंड कोस्टल एरिया ऑफ महाराष्ट्र वहां भी टेम्परेचर ज्यादा रहेगा। सो यहाँ कहाँ हीट वेव कंडीशन हो सकता है। नेक्स्ट 5 डेज का जो वार्निंग है हमारा, जिससे आपको पता है कि अभी जो वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस है अभी ये मूव हो रहा है, तो इसलिए इसका जो एक्टिविटी है काल भी कम हो चुका है और आज तक कम हो जाएगा, और कहीं कहीं आइसोलेटेड थंडरस्टॉर्म में रेनफॉल हो सकता है नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया में, नहीं तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में ज्यादा एक्टिविटी अभी नहीं होने वाला है। मगर जो ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स है स्पेशली वेस्ट बंगाल, असम, मेघालय, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, नागालैंड, मणिपुर, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा, ये आप सेपरेट पिक्चर में देख सकेंगे, यहाँ ज्यादा एक्टिविटी होगा, और इसके साथ साथ ही बिहार में भी एक्टिविटी रहेगा, झारखंड में एक्टिविटी रहेगा। हम हेवी रेनफॉल वार्निंग दिए हैं सर्वेल वेस्ट बंगाल, सिक्किम, असम, मेघालय, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, नागालैंड, मणिपुर, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा के लिए आज और कल ये 2 दिन वहाँ हेवी रेनफॉल होने का संभावना है। सो जो लोग नॉर्थ ईस्ट को जा रहे हैं थोड़ा सावधान रहिए, क्योंकि ये हेवी रेनफॉल साथ साथ वहाँ लैंडस्लाइड भी हो जाता है और लाइटनिंग भी बहुत इंटेंस लाइटनिंग होता है नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में, और वहाँ थंडरस्टॉर्म भी बहुत वेरी इंटेंस थंडरस्टॉर्म होता है, जो देखे नहीं कि सुना नहीं, शायद वो आश्चर्य हो जाएंगे जब नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया जाएंगे। इसलिए हम आपके माध्यम सभी को अभी रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि आप सावधान रहिए, कसस रहिए, क्योंकि अभी जो स्पेल चल रहा है 1 तारीख 2 तारीख स्पेशली ओवर नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स एडजॉइनिंग वेस्ट बंगाल, बिहार, ये बड़ा खतरनाक है। हम लोग सभी सावधान होना चाहिए और प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स लेना चाहिए। देन और एक स्पेल आ रहा है, दैट इज 3rd and 4th अप्रैल को एक स्पेल आ रहा है, जिसमें नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया एंड सेंट्रल इंडिया में अगेन थंडरस्टॉर्म रेन हो सकता है, मगर ये इतना इंटेंस स्पेल नहीं है, इसलिए हम इसको सिर्फ येलो कलर भी दिए हैं। इतना इंटेंस स्पेल नहीं है, मगर बारिश हो सकता है, थंडरस्टॉर्म हो सकता है, कहाँ हेलस्टॉर्म भी हो सकता है। सो मैं यही बोलना चाहता हूँ कि 5 तारीख या 7 तारीख तक ये थंडरस्टॉर्म एक्टिविटी बहुत इंटेंस रहेगा, इसके बाद धीरे धीरे इसमें रिड्यूस होने का संभावना है और टेम्परेचर ज्यादा राइज होने का संभावना है सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ अप्रैल। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।